Hello, I am Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be talking about all the new cards slash evolutions buffs that have been announced on the JP stream, which will be arriving in Japan shortly, which means we should be getting these cards in the next 2 to 3 months. So I have another first impressions video on the massive quality life updates, as well as the special thank you event on a subsequent video. So if you wish to check out those, feel free to do so at a later time. But this video here will be focusing on the new cards that are being released. So the first one is Machine Noah. So it's kind of following the trend of like Machine Athena, Machine Goemon, in that they're having an older Descend boss be re-featured as a machine type card with their own Annihilation difficulty dungeon. So she's kind of similar to Machine Goemon in the sense that she's going to be trying to revitalize water row farming, because her active skill in either form will always generate you a full board of water orbs, and like Machine Goemon, depending on the type of evolution you pursue, it will change her active skill. So in her base form, she will have the ability to unlock all orbs, then change the board to water. And then in her evolved form, she reduces your health by 50%, deals 100 times attack damage to one enemy, which is probably not enough to kill most things, unfortunately, and then change all orbs to water. So the health reset is important for her own awakenings, because each of these minus 50% attack awakenings grant you 1.5 times attack, so that's 3.75% times bonus damage for her personally. So she's going to be dealing significantly higher amounts of damage when below half health. So one Noah to push yourself into the health zone required, and then boom, you get massive amounts of damage. Also note that her evolved form also has better stats compared to her unevolved form. But having the ability to unlock orbs is also invaluable. So kind of like Machine Goemon, if you intend to use water row farming, you want to get probably 2 of each kind in order to have the flexibility of either unlocking or health resetting as needed. Now, things that could definitely work for her, like, will this replace red row farming? It's hard to say. Maybe, maybe not. Like Machine Goemon is doing quite well. Glavenus Hunter is pretty nice overall, but hey, it's another option, another farmable card, so why not take it? Scrolling down here just to the new cards. Now, the new 7-star Godfest exclusives, which we all will be able to get at least one of them for free, will also come with a special Orb Skin package alongside of them. As soon as you acquire them, you gain these Orb Skins. So if you gain the Valkyrie, you gain these kind of cuter orbs. The Zeus are kind of more like destructive orbs. And the Athena orbs, I don't know what to describe them, it's just more person-looking orbs. But the idea is that each orb is a little at least different. Like, it's not just like a color palette swap. Like, they have different designs for each card. Like the dark one here is kind of like a Valkyrie girl. This one looks like kind of lightning, and this one looks kind of like Athena. So at least each orb skin has a unique theme or feel to it, so that is kind of a nice touch. I honestly feel like Gunko probably will start releasing more of these orb skins in the future, like either tied to certain cards or maybe as like IAP package bundles, or being able to acquire them by clearing certain quests or whatever it may be. So nice cosmetic change overall. It's not necessarily going to alter your play style and or level of progression. So these next 3 Godfest exclusives are all animated, and they come with their Orb Skin package, but we also can get one of these for free. So the first is Valkyrie, and Valkyrie has the exact same active skill in both forms and the exact same leader skill in both forms. So it's a matter of just choosing the form that has the more desirable awakenings, as well as possibly stat distribution. So the stat distribution is much better in her evolved form, just way more attack. So in her unevolved form, she get Dragon, God, Devil, Machine, but in the evolved form, she trades out Devil and Machine for double 7 combo with God and Dragon Killer. So against a spawn with Dragon or God, well, that's a Dragon and God spawn, you get 9 times damage times 4. 36 times personal damage. That's outrageously high. That's a huge amount of damage output you can have on a single card. There's obviously no void damage penetration, thankfully, in the sense that would be too brokenly strong, but the idea is you have an incredibly hard-hitting card on your team. And she's a healer, god, and attacker type. So that means we can use her on Dark Metatron teams if you need a giant damage boosting stick. Because at the moment, Dark Metatron only has Uranus as a dark base card with 777 combo, so it may be a little hard to have like super hard hitting subs on Dark Metatron. Of course, there's no movement time on this Valkyrie here, so it's kind of cementing the idea that Dark Metatron teams have no orb movement time. As a leader, they're actually quite exciting, at least in my opinion. They have 2 times health and attack for healer types, so you must use healer cards. So that means you can use things like Ideal, I'm pretty sure Light A as well, like Cotton. There's quite a few chunk of light healer based cards, and you have 4 times health. You may or may not necessarily hit the health threshold requirement to tank Awoken Goemon in Altarena, but if you have enough ideals, you have lots of team health awakenings and the massive weighted stats, so you may or may not be able to hit that threshold. I'm not sure. Someone may have to calculate that out. But the point of the matter is you have an incredibly high health tanky team, kind of like Barbara, Julie, Dark Metatron, as well as the same damage output multiplier as Barbara, Julie. The only thing you're lacking is perhaps something like a Heart Orb Enhance Awakening stick. We can't use Mel, we can't use EIR. I'm trying to think, is there any other better option? I'm not quite sure for healer based wise. So it might be harder to have the massive amount of healing by connecting 4 Heart Orbs, but because your team already has so much RCV from all healer types, you might be able to just heal enough anyways, and with that massive health pool, you can kind of just plow your way through content. So maybe, will she be a better leader? I'm not sure. But again, you can use teams of Ideals and like Cotton, and you might have enough health and recovery to really just slam your way through most of the content. So this is pretty exciting. Her active skill is all right. It's a recover all binds, but it's not a Woken bind, so it's not that amazing. Most cards are bind immune anyways. And then you get heal, jammer, and poison orbs to light. So a reasonable orb changer overall, but it's not the greatest active skill, but a huge damage stick on various teams, including Dark Metatron. Next is this Zeus Giga, and he either gets Light Rose or Time Extends based on the evolution you choose. The second form, the evolved form, has greater stats, but it all depends on what you want to use them for. Their active skill is recover all HP and then all orbs converted to light on a 20 turn cooldown. So this is a lengthy cooldown, unfortunately. So he's kind of saying, I'm going to be a farming style leader. And then their leader skill is 4 times attack when full health, increase orb movement time by 2, 4 times attack, and 2 times recovery for light attribute cards. So will this replace the generic Zeus first we can farm with? Maybe, maybe not. At least you have some damage when you are injured, which can be helpful. The extra movement time is kind of weird in all honesty, but you have at least 16 times damage when you are injured, and then you jump up to 16 times 16, so what? That's 256 times damage. Like, you have a huge amount of damage, but Zeus Verse already comes with 225 times, so I'm not that impressed with this card overall. Like, yes, you have 3 skill boosts, but the Zeus Verse gives TPAs, gives killer. Like, I honestly like the farmable Zeus Verse is a better option, so I'm still leaning towards getting Valkyrie as my free card at this point in time. But again, maybe something I'm overlooking may occur in the future. And next is Athena Non, and she has God attacker physical typing, so that means you can use her on Dark Metatron teams as well. She does have double 7 combo, double TPA, pretty hard hitting card, but no time extends as well. So again, kind of problematic. Not as great of a damage stick as the Valkyrie form. Their active skill converts dark to light and water to heal. So you're taking away the dark orbs, so you're not that great for Dark Metatron teams in hindsight overall. Enhance all orbs. So it's kind of hard to feel like where can you use them as a sub effectively, because their typings outside of like God typing doesn't allow them to play on most other teams as nicely. And their leader skill is 1.5 times parameters for God types, and then you get 2 seconds movement time, and then 6 times attack when matching light and heal. So that's only 81 times damage. That's not a bad leader skill in all honesty. You are 2.25 times health and recovery, so this is a pretty nice gentle introduction leader in my opinion. Like, as far as like Valkyrie versus Athena for like a starting account, because you get these characters even if you just start out. It's hard. I'm just trying to think which is easier to play with. Both of them are probably just as easy to play with in all honesty. So it all really comes down to what you think you might need more, but I would still lean more towards Valkyrie just because you have much higher damage output overall, even though I'd say the Athena has arguably a better active skill, assuming you don't need the dark orbs or water orbs. So again, I would still personally pick Valkyrie, but again, Athena I feel is another great choice to have as a card. And this is kind of nice because if you're a new account, you're just going to be steamrolling through content with these new leaders. I talked about this in my previous video. Just lots of wonderful goodies, including 200 magic stones for free over the course of 2 months. And now we come to new evolutions, and this is reincarnated Lucifer. So this is not an Archangel Lucifer, not the row-based farming Lucifer. This is the old school original Lucifer that was super popular for tank-based teams with 4 times, was it 2 times health or 4 times health and 1 times attack. So pretty bonkerishly tanky at the time, but now he's been transitioned into a potent sub. So he has God typing, which is great because we can say, hey, Dark Metatron sub. He also gives you basically 3 time extend awakening, so 1.5 seconds of orb movement time, which is crucial in Dark Metatron teams. He also has 2 of the attack while injured awakenings. So with 2 of them, you have 2.25 times damage, so that's basically like a 7 combo, so not bad. But then his super awakenings give him more flexibility. You can gain another one of those to put it at 3.75 times, or a follow-up attack, or tape resist. Tape resist is by far the least valuable, so you either think of one of these 2 here. And if you have a dedicated follow-up attack card like Cami or Planar, you probably can just stick with those possibly and make Lucifer having more damage output. But if Lucifer is going to be your sole follow-up attack option, this is actually a pretty good choice, because if you replace Cami with Lucifer, you are going to have, I believe, more you are going to have more weighted stats with Lucifer when he's fully leveled up to level 110. So that can be quite meaningful. You have high stats. You also have more time extend by comparison, and you effectively have higher damage when low health than Cami. Cami's 7 combo does more damage, obviously, when you're above half health, but when below half health, Lucifer does a little bit more. So this is great. It's a 5-star Pantheon card that a lot of players should have at this point in time. So it gives you more depth and diversity to your Dark Metatron teams, and it can be just a nice, great time extend stick if all else fails. And then his active skill is quite powerful. You reduce your health by 50%, so bam, Dark Metatron active skill range enabled. You get 200 times dark attack to a single enemy. Probably can't kill anything of relevance when playing through traditional content. Change left column into dark, right column to heal. So you have your follow-up attack, you have a bunch of dark orbs, you can kill a lot of things. Can this replace Izanagi? Much harder by comparison, because Izanagi's a 3-turn cooldown, but hey, a 7-turn cooldown for this reset and beneficial secondary effects is meaningful. So I definitely can see Lucifer being used quite often. May not necessarily be your first choice, but sometimes he may be just for that big time extend stick. Next is reincarnated Krishna, and Krishna has the ability to gain a second 7 combo or VDP. VDP is not that great just because it's only 1 7 combo with VDP, so personal damage output may not be high enough, so 7 combo generally be the way to go. You have full bind immunity, 2 time extends, 2 skill boosts, pretty solid awakenings for the most part when you play in solo mode. And their active skill is 3 turns, fire orbs more likely to skyfall down, and then the far right column into fire on a 6-turn cooldown, so it charges up pretty quick. In theory, dual Krishnas have 100% uptime. Their leader skill is 2 times health and attack for devil and attacker types, and then increase attack when matching 2 fire combos up to 7.5 times. So this is a pretty high damaging multiplier with a high chunk of health. So Krishna is actually a pretty decent tanky damage output leader. Just the main drawback is he's quite orb hungry. Barbara Julie needs water and fire, which is much easier to achieve than 2 fire at the same time. So it can be a little harder to always sweep content with Krishna, but I feel that he's still a pretty potent leader, especially for a Pantheon card. Krishna used to be actually quite a powerful leader several years ago, so it's nice to see that he has received some love overall. Just the drawback is his sub pool is going to be smaller overall because you have to use devil or attacker type cards, and you really want to be fire based, because if you're not, it's not going to do that much. And again, the healing aspect will be a little bit strained because you don't have as desirable healing sticks. If I'm not mistaken, you can use Mel, but Mel is completely off color, so you are going to be having a little bit issue there. But hey, Mel gets a follow-up attack awakening, solves your healing issues, gives you follow-up attack. Maybe it allows you to have a bit more sub flexibility overall, but still a pretty nice card for the fact that it is a Pantheon monster. Reincarnated Vishnu is a little less exciting overall just because their active skill is the same idea, but except Wood Skyfall's Wood Column instead. But they're heavily TPA based, which is kind of awkward. 5 TPAs is actually quite amazing in that sense, but as a leader, you have recovery for physical and dragon types, so you can't really tank anything that effectively. You have probably too much healing at that point in time anyways, so I just feel it's not going to be as proficient as Krishna. Vishnu never really got a good time in the sun compared to Krishna in my opinion. And next is Mega Awoken Baldin. So Mega Awoken Baldin is following the trend of other 6-star Godfest exclusives in the sense that they changed their awakenings, changed their active skill, changed their leader skill to a point that they're significantly stronger. So Baldin in this form has full bind immunity, has God and Dragon killers, along with 2 void damage penetrations. So they can have one of the highest effective damage outputs for any VDP monster when facing Dragon and especially God type spawns. And the best part is your damage is not tied to 7 combos, so assuming you're playing a leader that doesn't need to hit 7 or more combos, you can make your blobs and still do very large, meaningful amounts of damage with Baldin. Of course, you are sacrificing many other killer awakenings, so it all depends on what you actually need to accomplish for your teams. Would you want to switch Baldin to this evolution? It really depends on how strong your VDP pool is and how much you value those killers for things like, say, ranking dungeons or whatnot. The active skill has been dramatically buffed to only a 9-turn cooldown, and then for 1 turn, 3 times attack for dragon machine types, and then light and jammer to fire, wood and poison to dark. So a nice orb changer overall to kind of line up your colors better for void damage penetration. Quite a strong evolution overall. It gives you much more flexibility and diversity for your Baldin. And next is Mega Awoken Roots. Again, another 6-star Godfest exclusive, gaining significant relevancy. Now, he has a follow-up attack and triple God Killer. So he's basically like an upgraded form of number 6, essentially. Like, you have the follow-up attack and the God Killing capabilities without the penalties of bad awakenings like number 6 has. So Sharius Roots can do amazing amounts of damage to God type spawns, 27 times damage, which is pretty incredible overall, which is nice and exciting. Their active skill has been significantly improved because it's still the same 6 elemental board changer, which includes hearts and the 5 colors, but you also lock all orbs. So this is I think maybe the 2nd card now that can at least lock orbs as an inherit. You can get one from a farmable from the Persona Collab, but now Sharius Roots can be an inheritable orb locker while changing the board. The only drawback is when you change the whole board to the rainbow colors, you may not necessarily want those colors for the team you are playing through, so you're kind of taking that gamble that I'm going to get this board and just pray it's the right color distribution. But hey, it is an option. It's a great way to counter spinners, assuming you don't need to have a mono color flooded board. And then leader skill is 2 times health and attack for dragon types, 2 times attack when above 50%, 4 times when 4 or more colors, so that's 8. That is 16, so I think that's 256 times damage. Pretty high amount of damage output, high amount of health, but the healing aspect can be a little problematic because I don't think there's any dragon cards that have massive RCV sticks in the sense that you can use the enhanced heal orb awakening alongside of it. So can be a little problematic overall. Ideal, I feel, is still an ideal card for it because ideal should be a dragon type if I'm not mistaken, and healer, so high stats, but again, it's not going to solve the RCV issue overall. Next is Mega Awoken Gremry, and she's the most disappointing one from a playability viewpoint, but that wink is truly amazing. And she'll be animated, so she'll be winking at you all the time. Her awakenings are kind of unfortunate. It's 3 L's, big time extend, 2 skill boost, full bind immunity. Active skills, far column to dark, far column to right, recover bind and awoken by 2 turns. So it can be a reasonable inherit overall, like you have at least decent benefits and overall with it. But the problem is the leader skill is still a heart cross based leader with an active skill clause. Yes, you can get mined from her dungeon, which is coming out, should be on Friday, but again, it's not necessarily the best thing in the world having active skill clause and being heart cross oriented at the same time. It's too many components you have to try and juggle at once. It takes away 1 active skill slot. It's going to be quite fragile if you don't heart cross. So I feel that's just a bit of an unfortunate scenario. Gremry's very pretty and attractive, but she's actually a dude apparently. So in like mythological lore, but hey, pretty and wink. And next are the evolution materials. And then here are the final thing I want to cover is the big buffs for the Angel 1 series. So the Angel 1 series of Uriel, Gabriel, Michael, and Raphael, they gain the ability to gain an extra 7 combo. So now Uriel, Gabriel, and Michael can now be triple 7 combo awakening cards. And that is a big deal because now your Barbara Julie teams could have a triple 7 combo card in Uriel or Gabriel, while also kind of eclipsing Enra in the sense that Enra has better stats if I'm not mistaken, but Enra has a much worse active skill overall. So being able to use Gabriel or Uriel instead of Enra can be meaningful. Just be aware that these Super Awakenings obviously only take effect in solo mode, so they won't be damaging out past Enra in co-op. But hey, more flexibility and usage there. Sarasvati gains irrelevant awakening. She just is not in a good space right now. Ganesha, full bind immunity can be cool, but hey, we're not really using Ganesha that much in all honesty otherwise outside of rank experience farming, and If you are, you're probably playing in co-op anyway, so it has no effect. Durga, they're nice awakenings in the sense, but she already came with bad awakenings, so she's not justifiable to use as a sub on even Dark Metatron teams when you have better options like Lucifer. So, in conclusion, there are lots of exciting changes coming to PAD in the next couple months, much sooner in Japan, hopefully soonish for North America. This information was taken from PAD Products website. I will include the link in the YouTube description down below in case you want to read through all the various changes at your own leisure. Let me know what you think about all these changes in the comments below. Who are you most excited to actually acquire, and where do you plan on using them? Hopefully you'll have a fantastic day. I wish you all the best of luck in your own PAD adventures, and happy puzzling.